Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Castillo, and this is for my Special Education 556 course at Grand Canyon University, my benchmark. I will be going over a psychoeducational evaluation for a student whose name is Jean. Jean is a 7-year-old first grader who has a brother, and she has some delays, and mom can acknowledge that, and mom expresses that. They both express that Jean is not really verbal. So there was a couple assessments that were done. The school staff and her teachers have reported some concerns about her academic abilities, about her behavior, her adaptability, and her communication. So there was a universal nonverbal intelligence test that was completed, a Woodcock-Johnson test of achievement, 3rd edition, adaptive behavioral assessment system, 2nd edition. There was a wide range assessment of visual motor abilities and a comprehensive assessment of spoken language. So each of these assessments really focused on one of the concerns that was verbalized by either the parent, the school, or the teacher. So for her nonverbal intelligence test, she scored within the delayed and very delayed ranges, which is, considering how everyone describes her and is her PLAF, it seems to fall right within what we thought would be. Her academics, was a concern for school staff and the teachers, and she scored within the very low and low range, reading being low, math and writing being very low. Her adaptive behavior, such as communication skills, socialization, her leisure time, self-care, things like that. She scored low within her school living, her school life, and communication, which would also be socialization. So in those two areas, she scored a 2 in both, which is extremely low. With health and safety, leisure, and self-care, she scored borderline, which is not great, but not horrible. For a wide range assessment of visual motor abilities, this was to gauge her motor skills, to see how successful she can be within her educational activities and things of such. So this is visual motor, visual spatial, and fine motor. The median score for these are usually at 100, and she scored below that within the 55 to 62. So in her spatial, she scored a 55, in her fine motor a 57, and in visual motor a 62. Her language, her comprehensive assessment of spoken language, like her receptive language, things like that, she fell between those ranges of a 61 to a 64. And again, with this assessment, the scale is the median score would be 100. Now, looking at her reports and going over their scores, a lot of it is now just going to help us create goals and focus on what we need to do to better support Jean and her needs. So the 2 goals that we did come up with, there was 1 academic goal and there was 1 daily living goal. Her academic goal would be decoding words with appropriate skills according to her grade level. So in the beginning, what we're going to do is there's 3 different things we're going to do and use. Okay. So the first one is observation. We're going to observe. We're going to write exactly where she struggles, whether that's the teacher or the parent in the room. Because I want to see where the inconsistencies are, so then we can move forward to help her. The second one is we are going to work with her one-on-one and help guide her using these tools to help decode words, so we can get her at a more fluency of reading. And then the last thing is we're going to trial her 6 out of 8 times, consistent, with a 75% accuracy rate. And with all that consistency, we can give her an exit ticket, which is now a test or a quiz, to see if she's mastered this goal, which she struggles in all areas, of academics, but I feel like once we start zoning in on specific aspects and specific points, we'll really be able to start pushing forward and working towards other goals. For her daily living goal, Jean will be able to answer the 5 W's. So the who, what, where, why, when. Who, what, where, why, when. Yes. Questions, and she'll be able to ask them within conversation. So this is all about getting her to become more engaged and initiate conversation and continue conversation, not just simple yes, no answers where it could seem a bit choppy. We want it to flow more. So in the beginning, we're going to do prompting and provide her with choices. So prompting, if she says, somebody goes, "What are you doing?" She will be able to say, "I am playing, I am writing, I am reading, I am," whatever she's doing at that moment. So we're going to also provide her with choices. So it could be, "What are you doing?" "I am writing my name, I am packing my stuff," and she will have to pick the appropriate one. Another tool that we're going to use with that is visuals, because sometimes that works better than giving her actual choices. But this will also work in adjusting and using and being able to use this at home and to go back and forth between home and in class. So the parents will also have visual cues that we can give them to work with at home to help her with these W questions and answering them and also asking them. So instead of the ultimate goal is for her to want to engage into the conversation. And then lastly, the last tool is trialing. I would like to see her be consistent with answering and asking these W questions. We are going to trial her 6 out of 8 with a 75% accuracy. And once we see a steady amount over the next couple of months of her being able to consistently answer and ask these W questions, then she would have mastered her goals. So I think overall, this is going to help pinpoint a lot of the concerns that the parents have shown, and as well as the school staff. And I think overall, once she accomplishes these goals, we can move on to other goals that can follow, and with mastering these, take these skills and incorporate them into her next goals. I hope that was efficient and I was able to explain the scores properly. If there are any questions or comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out. My information will be linked below. And I hope everybody has a great day.